Pete! Hello, Mr. Lee.
Right. Yet again, we find ourselves revisiting these two heavyweight contenders in the sort of practice guitar amp market.
Yes. Once again.
This year, or certainly in the sort of the latter part of this year, we've looked at the new Katana Mark II from Boss, and we've looked at the new THR Mark II from Yamaha. And we've done a couple of comparison videos where the worlds have collided. But the one that we've not done yet, for the ultimate collision,
After the last year of the teens, Lee.
It is.
We're going to the year 2020.
Into the 20s. Where did that decade go?
You remember, like, tonight we're going to party like it's 1999.
I totally do.
Remember.
I remember pulling off my best James Brown dance manoeuvres in a pub in Guildford. Funnily enough, it's the same pub we're going to our Christmas party tonight, but back then it was called RSVPs. RSVPs. Anyway.
RSVP.
I don't think I've been with my girlfriend who became my wife for very long then either. So there we go. Anyway, just saying. Right.
It's like 35 years.
It was. So, THR Mark II, you've seen a video of us where we compare there are three of these amps in the range. You've got the one that I've got here, which is the non-wireless 10 watt one. There's then a wireless version of this, 10 watt, and then there's a 30 watt wireless one. And you've seen us do a shoot out of all three. So this is the cheapest one, the non-wireless 10.
Yeah.
That
is the Boss Katana Air, which has been around for a long time, which I was lucky enough to do the first...
what, 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years, but that's a long time in tech terms, Lee.
I mean, like...
You see what's happened with your iPhone. Now, I'm still on an iPhone 7.
What, you mean my tiny iPhone?
Yeah, Lee's got the really small one. Hello. I'm still on an iPhone 7. I'm still on the 7 Plus here, you know. So, and that's just come along so quick. So anyway, this is the Boss Katana Air. It's not that old. Couple of years. It
might even be less than that. But it's the same vibe. I mean, if you go back to 2011, I mean, we're talking like 140 years ago. That was when the original THR came out, and I think up until that point, nobody'd really done a guitar amp like that, had they? Yes, you could buy little 10 watt like practice amps and stuff. Yeah. But no one had really gone for like the
look.
Well, A, the look, but also B, just that sort of luxury end of the practice amp market. Yeah. You know, that idea that people would actually spend a reasonable amount of money on an amp they'd never turn up loud, and they'd just have it in their
But it's also that it looks nice in your living room, so nobody gets offended, you know.
So look, this is the shootout, I suppose. If you've got 300 quid to spend on a little guitar amplifier and you want something, really small, inoffensive looking, works as a Bluetooth music player, plug your guitar in, and sounds great, you're probably going to buy one of these two.
Yeah. This is £330.
This is $279.
Yes, because it's the non-wireless. I can't say it, man. Wireless version. Wireless version. Taylor's always laughing when I say Volkswagen. I can't say that either.
The Yamaha. The next one up from this, the wireless version of this, is borderline exactly the same price.
But a little bit more expensive.
Is it?
Yeah, and you don't get you have to buy that as
Don't you have to buy that separate with the Boss as
well?
No,
that comes with the Boss.
Oh, does it?
Yes, and that's already there. So the reason why we picked these one was because they've got the same size speakers.
Yeah, we started with the 30-watt Yamaha, and it just...
The speakers are bigger.
And it's quite a lot more money, so I thought that's not really fair. But we're going to bring it in at the end.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if we're recapping a lot here. So just so that you know, $279 for this one, but you can't go wireless with it. So this little bug that Pete's got sticking out the top, there's like an equivalent version of that for the Yamaha, but you can't use that with that. $330 for the Boss, and it comes with the little bug, so that's great value.
Yeah.
$350 for the wireless version of this, and then 59. Another 80 quid on top of that to buy the bug. So you've broken the the £400 barrier here. And then the big one, the 30, which is the one I've got, is $420, again excluding the bug. So with the bug, it's 500 quid.
Yeah.
So
where you get all of this in here.
Yeah. Now, Pete, you mentioned the 50-watt thing.
Yeah.
I think that's utter misleading rubbish.
You're never going to turn it up there.
Well, it just doesn't do... It doesn't do 50 watts in the way that an amp does 50 watts.
No, absolutely not.
And I would say the same with like the Vox Adio is rated at 50 watts.
Yeah.
It's all like misleading rubbish. I would literally just assume with either of these, any of these, that you can use them really nice at home. That's it.
Yeah.
The end. So we're not going to go massively into the features of these amplifiers because you can come and see all the original videos we've done on them. They are largely the same. The Yamaha has 15 different amp models, plus a bass, an acoustic, and a flat mode. The only real pain on the two 10-watt models is that I can only access 5 of those 15 amp models from the panel. I have to go into the app to get the other 10 models.
Yep.
The 30, which is the one that I bought, and one of the reasons why I bought it, was all 15 models are available from the top panel without using the app. What have you got on the Boss?
Well, the Boss has got the 5, which is on the top here. So the acoustic, the clean, the crunch, the lead, and the brown. So that's it. But you can, I guess, because you've got the tone setting here on the top here, you can choose A/B channel. So you can make variations of these via the app and then load them via this bit. So it's not different. It's not different amps because I believe that this has got all the 3. The old one, they had the green and the brown and the black one. So now they put those 3 amps into the 1 amp, So
that's where they get the 15 models from. Is for those that know about THR and its past, there used to be 3 different versions of THR amp, each with their own 5 amp models in. Yeah. Now there's just one with 15 models in.
But I guess you've got this one has got user memory on the top there, so it's kind of the same.
Yeah, it's another thing again in favour of the Yamaha is again I think if you use the app, you've got lots and lots of memory locations you can store, but from just the amp. You've got 2 memory locations on the Boss and 5 on the Yamaha. And that's the same whether you buy the bigger Yamaha or not.
Yeah.
They're both Bluetooth. Every single one is Bluetooth. So when you were talking about jamming to music, obviously we're feeding that in and via Bluetooth, and that sounds cool.
But this is clever. I like this, that you can actually charge your little bug while you're playing. But that doesn't mean that you can actually plug 2 guitars in. One cancels the other one out.
I am absolutely going to give Boss a win on that one because one of the things that is annoying with my THR30 is if I do forget to charge the bug up, I basically have to then use a cable whilst I'm playing and I can't charge the bug up at the same time because the input is the same. Anyway, look, can we do backing music now? So 20 seconds through that, 20 seconds through this.
Yes, so I'm now
Here's a track. Here's Pete Honore's backing tracks, which you can go onto Apple or Music or Spotify and download and jam along with yourself or stream them.
Exactly, stream
them. Is
that
what
buy
kids
them
do nowadays, isn't it?
Stream or my website, danishpete.com. Hey! Plug. So here is the music. There might be a little short space when it attaches itself to the other speaker.
Through the Katana first.
mean, that's...
It sounds a little bit different, but I can't really decide which one I like.
There's a little bit more bottom and top in this one, where this one has got, it's more linear. Everything is a bit more linear to me. I know, because I make backing tracks, and I kind of, so I know that this sounds more like I like it to be, but that's preference. You know? So
obviously Pete's a much better guitar player than I am, so I apologise, Yamaha, that you're going to get the short end of the stick here.
Well, we'll swap over.
Short end of the stick. But put yourself on a clean sound, Pete. Let's put everything at 12 o'clock with a little bit of reverb.
Everything at 12 o'clock with a little bit of reverb.
And let's do. I'm going to go on my. We should really have similar guitars here, shouldn't we? But I mean, I can go on a. No, I've got a middle pickup, which is.
I'll just get a Strat. Shall I get a Strat?
Get a Strat. We've decided to use the same guitar. We're just going to use this guitar for the whole thing. But we have got everything 12 o'clock, and we're just going to go through the 5 different models. So here we go. Here's the Yamaha. Here's the Katana.
Bit more bottom end and a bit more top end. This one more linear in the sound.
Crunch mode, what do you call the crunch mode on that?
Crunch.
Crunch, funnily enough. Okay, now we're going neck humbucker, everything on 12. And here is the Katana.
Bit more gain in this one.
Yeah. Now the next mode is lead mode.
And I've got lead mode.
Okay, and I'm going to go to my back humbucker now. And here's the Katana.
Okay.
My feeling is that even with all the EQ flat here, the Katana feels like it needs more bass end roll.
More bass end.
Which it is there. I mean, there's bass end to roll in.
Yeah, we haven't touched it, so let's...
The next mode up on this is called high gain.
And this is a brown.
Brown. And Katana.
Same again.
It's funny, isn't it? It feels to me like the Katana, you need to get in and tweak and maybe get into the editor. Because there are some great sounds in there, but this with everything 12 I think is voiced nicer. Okay, we're in the special mode now, which is, I guess, the highest gain mode on this.
Yeah, this one has got an acoustic. It doesn't go any higher gain like this. So
that's it.
This has got the acoustic setting as a part of these 5.
Well, actually, then, so we're going to have to. So I didn't realise. So I've got 5 actual amp models plus bass, acoustic, and flat mode. So flat being for like a keyboard or something. So you're saying you've just got 5 in total, 4 amp models and a bass and an acoustic model.
Yeah.
Is there a bass mode if you go into the app?
Not as far as I know.
No. Okay. Right. Okay. So maybe point for the Yamaha then. A few more sounds. Yep. Let's just do effects quickly. So if we go back to a clean tone and you take your cable back.
Yeah.
So if we just go back to a clean tone. I will run you through the basic effects on the Yamaha. There are more on the Boss. And again, on both these amplifiers, what you can do to adjust the effects is quite limited from the top panel, and it's much deeper editing if you use the app.
Yes.
So here we go. Here is my clean sound with no effects other than reverb. Chorus. Playing Paradise City again, Micah. Flanger. Phaser. And tremolo, which is nice. And then if I switch that off over on my other side, again, this is where I'm going to go in favor of the Boss, I think. I have to choose echo, reverb, spring, or hall. So I don't have a separate control for echo and reverb.
But I guess you can make your, by the app, you can probably do like a user.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, absolutely.
Probably, yeah.
So we've got echo here. There is a tap thing over here, so I can tap in the speed of the echo.
Oh, and that is also a tuner.
Yeah, you've not got a tuner in there?
No, not as far as I know.
I didn't really. Echo and reverb. Just reverb, and it's a spring. Or a whole reverb, which would be much bigger. Woo.
You mentioned tuner on the front there. On this, there is one in the app. So you have to be attached to the app to do.
Give us a whiz through your effects.
Whiz through. So in a similar way, but not with a dial around here, I've got reverb, but 3 different types of reverb by clicking the switch.
I see. What is that, like a red, green, and orange?
Yeah, red, green, and orange. Which you can go. It's I can't remember. Spring, plate, and hall. And you can go in and twiddle around.
One of my favourite bands ever. Spring, plate, and hall.
Yeah, it's a great band, isn't it? So let's just have a listen to the reverb. So it's another reverb. Another one. You know, it might be difficult for you to hear out there in YouTube land. And then you've got another switch here, which is like a boost and a mod. So give a bit of a...
25p in the swear jar.
And the more you turn it up, the more... And then
so it's like having a pedal in front of the amp, isn't it? Yeah.
And then when you turn it over 12 o'clock, you get... Not sure what this effect is.
Chorusy thing, is it?
Phaser.
Phaser.
Or flanger.
Flanger.
That's obviously the speed when you go across. And again, you turn it back, you've got...
Oh, you got different types.
Then you got
different
let's say you got the orange one, so that would be an overdrive pedal, you know. And the more you turn it up, the more gain. And then you go across to the mod side. And then you've got red, and then you got... Ah man, I can never... And then again, you go back to the boost side, you got something... Turn that back off, and then you got delay, where one side is delay and the other side is the effects again. So you got effectively 3 delays and then 3 effects, but you can't run them at the same time unless you start going into the deep editing mode. Delay number 2.
Nice. And you got a tap tempo on there as well?
I got tap tempo, yeah. There's a bit of modulation on that. Let's go back to the number 1. you go on the other side where you got your effects. And then next one would be...
Is it the same effects out of a regular Katana? Right.
Then get drum. Yeah, it's the same effects as the Katana. The app works in the same way, but you have to plug into the Katana to get the app to work via laptop. So, and of course, all that is customizable, and you can have some settings in the panel. As
a bit of a recap, then I think if we're, I don't think there's a clear winner on this one. I think being, as what's the right word? Sort of independent as possible. The Boss clearly is a great price. The fact that it comes with the wireless thing.
It charges, which you can put that in. It's got it sounds good as a Bluetooth
It's battery
speaker.
powered, isn't it?
You can put batteries in
I don't think the cheapest Yamaha, I think that was one of the other things. I don't think the cheapest Yamaha one runs on batteries.
So it's just the 30 that
you have to go up to the 10 wireless.
So the wireless ones get a battery.
Yeah. So from a price point of view, I think the Boss is good. And clearly the Boss has got probably a deeper set of effects in there, although quite how good they
it's
are,
all
I'm not
Boss's
sure.
effects. It's all the effects that are in the Katana. So,
I mean, but the tonality, I think, of the Yamaha to me is better. It's a more natural,
out of the
smoother
box
sound.
I mean, it'll be interesting to sit down and actually noodle and see if you can go into sticking on, putting on, like an EQ or something in here and see if you can get the same bottom end and the same top end, because it clearly has.
It definitely. I don't think we got a nice sounding drive sound out the Boss with all of the EQ controls on 12. So see if you can.
But let's see what we can. Because I don't really know the.
Certainly, while you're doing that, I've got the 30 at home, and the best sounds that I've had out of the 30 have been by going into the app and changing. They have some speaker emulation in the app, so you can get it to give it like a more of a 4x12 vibe rather than a 1x12 or 2x12. And I got some really pleasing sounds like that. So definitely take some time to fiddle around. But I do think straight out the box, the Yamaha is my favourite.
Yeah, sounds good. It sounds good.
But again, the Boss is 2 years old, so you expect, I suppose, Boss at some point, rather than the next year or two, will come out with something else.
Oh, that's interesting. In here, in the app, there's a presence control, so you can a bit more presence there. So. Already there, you get a bit more. I put a bit more low end in it really quick. I put a bit more top end in it.
All right.
So
get your best clean sound. Come on. G chord. I've done.
It almost sounds like an acoustic.
That's just
it's got that piazza vibe about it. With
but
top
I really like that.
It's like a lot loudness you had on your old stereo system.
That's exactly.
It's like a loudness switch.
Yeah. All I've done is tweak, the classic bit more bass, bit more treble.
Yeah.
It's a much punchier mid-range in the Boss, but not necessarily in a way that I like.
Like I say, linear. It's much more linear.
I think that's just more scooped straight out.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is, I like it. It sounds good as well. I mean, and it depends on what you want. Do you like the look of that one? Maybe the sound is not so important for you. If you're really into sound, you just go and get a tube amp. Or a bigger, it's 112 if you want some lower end.
We talked about, really that's the whole point of these amplifiers, is this is not about, if you had 300 or 500 even when you get up to the big Yamaha, if you had that money and it was just like go and buy the best amp that you can, you'd absolutely walk out the store with something like a little Fender Blues Junior or a Black Star HT5 or something like that.
Yeah.
But the problem with all those amplifiers is they're basically small, big amps. And everything, all the technology and everything wants to be a big amp. It's just small.
Yeah.
So there's no sense that, you know, all the time that the volume is very, very low on them, there is just a feeling of using those amps that it's like, oh, please turn me up so that I can sound good. Whereas these are dedicated small amps.
Yeah, they're designed to sound good at low volumes.
And I sit with my little Yamaha at home and I noodle away, and and I swear I'm sitting there and I'm getting feedback and everything like that. And I'm in a room that as soon as you shut the door, absolutely no one else in the house can hear me play. It's awesome.
Yeah, lucky for them.
Yeah, lucky for them. I was going to show you, in fact, we'll show you the wireless. There's quite a lot of people asking on the internet if there's a latency problem with these amplifiers.
No, there's not.
And I've never experienced it, but you know, fair enough. I mean, let's pop this here. Perhaps we'll get our.
Also, much bigger.
It is a lot. You don't realise actually when
it's not just a little bigger. It's quite
it's a lot bigger, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that absolutely comes through in the bass end, and it's not volume. I mean, although it says it's 30 watts versus 10 watts, again, it's not about trying to use it louder. It's just having that sense of fatness. So you'll never the latency that people talk about when they're using wireless stuff is not visually perceptible. You know, you're not going to see me strum and then hear the noise. It's for the player to really be going, is there a perceivable difference from when I know I'm hitting the string and when I'm hearing that? And there just isn't. I mean, I don't know what to say. I can't tell the difference between playing through a cable and playing through this system.
And here, I would like to add to that and say that these are actually the ones that they use, both Line 6 and Boss, in their systems, in their professional systems, in people that use this live. So, and it's the same technology. It's Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is super duper quick.
Yeah.
I mean, there is really no latency.
There definitely is a history on digital wireless. So when digital wireless first came out, which is probably now maybe 10 years ago, prior to that, all wireless was, you know, UHF or VHF. There definitely were latency issues on the early stuff. So I can see where that legacy of thought has come from. Yes. But honestly, anyway, so that's basically it. I think we should jam out. We'll put the backing track through the bigger Yamaha now so you can kind of see that. Pete and I'll get like a bluesy tone that we like to play over, and there you go.